Hi guys, welcome to my studio, and today I've got a bunch of goodies to show you. It's heavy. And what do I have in all of these books that I want to share with you? Well, I've been painting a portrait this week, and as always, I'm having a bit of trouble with that, and I didn't get to finish, so I'm not going to show you today, sorry. And so I thought it could be for my next video. So first, as I'm still in the beginning phase, I can change pretty much everything about it. I'm gonna look into the old master's work for inspiration. Well, not so much as inspiration, but more like for learning. And I thought I could share that with you. Maybe it is useful for you too. I don't know. Well, the thing for me with portraits, I think for everybody really, some of them resonate a lot with me and others don't so much. And that's kind of subjective field right there. There are some things that resonate with you that don't with me, and vice versa. So that's normal, that's natural, that's okay. So today I'm going to look into these old masters books, some of my favorites here, and I'm gonna look especially into the portraits they made and find out what I love about them, and that might give me a clue of what I want to incorporate in my own portraits. So let's go, let's look at it, and I'll promise you it will be a joyful ride, as it always is with the masters, right? Okay, let's start with Picasso. From Picasso, I've got this in the cover, which I find adorable. You can see a lot of the brush strokes, and I love that. The girl is in a standing position, but in a tenderness way, you know. I really like it. I've selected a lot of pieces to show you from several artists. I'm not going into the more cubist work of Picasso because that's not what I'm into right now. But I got something else in this book that I want to show you, which is this self-portrait of Gauguin. Also, you can see the brush marks and the way he's looking at us with his eyes tilted to the side, and he's also pushed a little bit to the side of the painting, so it becomes a more dynamic composition, and it's very interesting for me. And now, in this Matisse book, well, I could show you everything in here really, because I love Matisse. But I'm going to start with this self-portrait of his. What do I like about this? Well, it's a very old book, sorry. This is not, this white stuff is not from the painting. It's because the pages are a little bit beat up. So I was telling you, what do I like about this? I like that it shows the contour of the drawings, and the way he's sitting, you know, is tilted to the side. And we supposedly think that he has his canvas right here because he's holding the brush towards this way. So he must be painting because he's holding the palette here. And I love that he's in such a casual position. He's portraying himself painting. Another one, well, this portrait of Madame Matisse. I like the bold colors, obviously, brush marks again, the line contour, and I also like that she's not facing us in the portrait. She's looking a little bit to the side. And then this one of Woman with a Hat, again, the bold colors. Now she's looking at us, but she is tilted to the side, you know, sitting down, her arm in this position, creating these lines here, this movement, and all this going on in her head. You'll have several points of interest in this one. But for me, what appeals to me the most is the way she's sitting, tilted to the side, and turning her head facing us. More. I got this guy. It has here another version of it, but it's basically the same pose. I like this pose. It's not a very common pose. It's not sitting straight, you know. He has this leg lifted a little bit and is tilted to the side again. One hand down, the other one up in the face. It's an interesting pose for me. Okay, I've got this one. I didn't choose this one because it's too straight up for me. Straight front for me. But this one I like. This is a strange pose. She's lying down, her arms are up, the hands around her face, and then has a cup of coffee here, and has this line in the composition. I like it. Then these two, the ballerina, again, a different pose. Her legs, one is bent, the other one is straight. Her arms are in this round shape. She got her face tilted to the side in a very elegant pose. Very beautiful and interesting. And he complements it with these stripes here, these door there, the lights and the darks, and it all becomes a very dynamic composition. This lady down here, it's kind of a different pose. She's holding her head with her hand like this and facing us. I really find this interesting. And the last one in this book that I want to show you is this smaller one up here. I like her pose once more. She's lying on this chaise longue, and for me that's much more interesting than this pose or this pose. So now let's go for this Manet book. What do I have in here? For starters, this one is very interesting. I think I'll talk about this later. Yeah, this pose is quite interesting again. She's not even facing us. She's kind of lost in her thoughts. I love this pose. We can build a whole story from this picture. You can think of what you might be seeing and thinking. It's a very interesting image just because of this pose. Then this one, also very interesting. She's sitting down, but she's relaxing, She's kneeling to the side and not looking at us. Again, she's looking a little bit to the side. It's also about the storytelling in this one that sparkles my imagination, I really like this pose. This one is a bit dark. I don't know if you can see it. It's again a strange pose because it's a portrait and the lady is covering her face. It's a very interesting pose. She's a little bit to the side as well, but facing us and covering her face. I love this one as well. Then this portrait up here, again, a very interesting pose. The man is not facing us. He's looking a little bit to the side and is tilted to the side as well. The composition is very interesting. Everything is turned to this side a little bit. And here the street singer. It's a very beautiful one as well. She's facing us, but her body is not turned to us. It's a little bit to the side. So she's facing us just with her head. And she's eating some grapes or something. So she's covering a little bit of her face. It's very interesting. It even looks like she's walking, she's moving, not standing still. Very interesting, this one. I love it. That's it for this book. Now I've got a lot of things to show you in this realism and impressionism book that my younger daughter gave to me. There was this old things fair in her school and she saw this and thought of me, so she bought it. She's a sweetheart. Okay, first thing from Jean-François Millet, this one of a woman sewing some clothes. She's working, she's not even looking at us, and so he wanted to capture the way she works. Very interesting. Then this one from Manet, the boy with the cherries. His expression is smiling. I don't know if he's going to eat the cherries or not, but I believe he is. And he's very happy about it. He's leaning forwards in this kind of balcony or something and facing us really straight up. It's very interesting. Next, this one, again from Manet, Lola from Valencia. Very interesting. She's facing us, but her body is tilted to the side, one leg in front of the other, like a ballerina. Quite nice. It's more like a stage pose. It's not a natural one like I loved in other paintings that I showed you, but it's also very interesting for me. Then this one, in this picture, what captures my attention is this lady in front. because her pose is so much more interesting to me than the other guys. She's sitting down, she's watching something out there, not looking at us, the body tilted to the side, the face looking the other way. That's quite interesting to me. And in here, I think it's the same lady. At least she resembles that one. And it's much more, let's say, classical looking portrait. But again, the way she looks, there's a strength in her look. I find it very appealing. Everything in the picture is very dark. Well, at least in the figure, the background is light to make this contrast. And then her face is quite light, like the background, and her eyes are just looking at us. And that's very appealing to me. And that's quite a classical portrait look. Also, this one is very classical, but this one doesn't appeal to me. I don't know why. Maybe because it's the whole body. Maybe if it was just this portion of the man. I don't know. There's something about it that doesn't capture my attention in this one, opposing to this one that I'm all about. Then this lady just sitting down, she's listening to this guy reading, but we almost don't see him. He's in the dark back there and cut, you know. So what's interesting for me, it's her pose. She's just sitting down, but again, the body's a little bit to the side and she's looking towards us. And all these textures of the clothes are very interesting to me. Then this painting. Oh, I forgot to tell you the authors of the other paintings. This one is from Manet. Maybe they're also from Manet. Yes, Manet, and Manet. This one now is from Manet, and I like this contrast. You know, this woman is facing us while the girl is all the way around. This contrast is very interesting to me. I think this could be a portrait just by itself, you know, but with this contrast here, it becomes so much more interesting. And then this lady, she's lying on a chaiselong. She seems very comfortable. She's facing us, kind of, you know, her eyes are looking a little bit down. She's just posing. Another very classical pose for a portrait, but I like all these textures and the dynamics in her pose. It's very interesting also. This one is from Manet, and this one here again from Manet. And look, it makes me think of this one because of these dynamics, you know. She's facing us and he's looking at her, so facing towards her, complementing her pose. They both become like one. One is complementing the other. She's too straight. Like this, maybe a little bit uninteresting. With him, it makes all the sense to me. Oh, this is one from Manet's cover in the other book. This one has so much going on. It's a little bit too complicated for me, but I love it because of the simplicity in her face. You know, she's so quiet. She seems to be attending a client because you can see him here in the reflection of the mirror, but her look is so empty, you know. It's almost she's thinking about other things. I think she's in her own world. Everything is so busy around her. It looks like she escaped from all this and she's in her happy world somewhere else. Really interesting, although too much complication around here for me. I like more simple stuff. Oh, then this one, again, too much complication going on. It's a family meeting from Frédéric Basile, but I like mainly these two girls' poses. One tilted this one, the other one tilted to the other side. This could be a nice portrait over here as well, with these two girls and this man. But they're all in the same painting, you know, so that makes a little bit of a messy message for me. But the poses are really fine. This man is really relaxing, sitting back, not even facing us. He doesn't care. He's thinking about other things. He's just enjoying the moment. Couldn't care less if it's being painted or not. This painting from Bert Morisot, for starters, I love the colors and the textures. Then you can see this lady facing us, and this other one is fixing her hair. This one, just like this, it might be a little bit uninteresting for me. But then with this one getting into the composition and telling us the story of what's happening here, it makes a lot of sense and I love it. This one, well, in fact, I want to show you this one as well. The lady is standing and is being portrayed by the artist, but she's not looking at us to make it a little bit more interesting. You can imagine what is she seeing, what is she thinking about, why is she not facing us, you know? So that becomes an interesting image right there. This one as well. Well, this is an action that's going on in here. 4 people in the painting. Your eye is drawn to these bows in her dress. She looks like she's going on the swing. So it tells a story. The storytelling is really important to me. So I find this very interesting. This one is from Renoir. And this one as well. Yeah, again from Renoir. This one is very known. Too busy for me. But look at all the faces, you know, the faces in here are also very self-explanatory of the joy of the moment. You can see what's happening and the vibe of the moment in their faces. And here also, most of the people here are facing us, you know, you can see a lot of faces here really. Too busy, but that's interesting. All those faces are capturing our attention, you know. And here this one, oh, this one is so nice. I love these colors. Again, from Renoir. And the faces, you know, the faces and the poses. The mom is in this diagonal pose. This girl is straight up. And this one is leaning to the other side. And there's a dog in here. This is a very interesting composition, this. Oh, this, the umbrellas. Very nice one again from Renoir. And again, it's the faces. It's a lot going on. Too busy for me. But the faces caught your attention. This girl and this little girl are looking at you. The other ones aren't. But you can see all the faces, you know, and they capture your attention and they make this movement around the painting. It's very interesting. And also just her pose, it's very interesting. Her dress makes all these lovely shapes, and the way she's holding her dress here and holding this basket, very, very beautiful. Then again, very busy, a lot of faces. It's Renoir again and all his faces. A lot of points of interest. We could take some portraits in this painting, you know. This one could be a portrait, a very interesting portrait to me. This one also. This one, this guy here, without the girl, just the guy. This lady with her dog, very beautiful, very interesting. For me, this has a lot of portraits in one painting. Too busy, like I told you, but so much interest. Beautiful, beautiful colors, beautiful textures. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, this one is so interesting. This was painted by Degas, and have you noticed the figure is almost out of the picture, and she's looking out of the picture as well. How interesting can it be? I mean, I love it. It's very original. You have all these flowers getting your painting full, and then she's in this stripe of the painting. Very, very interesting. Something to take a note. Yes, definitely. Okay, this is the self-portrait of Cézanne. Well, I love Cézanne's art. His bold brush strokes, giving a lot of texture to the painting. I love it. He's facing us. He's tilted to the side, but his eyes are really on us. Very strong image. Again, that kind of pose, the body facing to the side, the head turning to us. Another Cézanne. This figure is all about dynamics. It even looks like he has such long arms. It's almost like noodle arms, aren't they? He's tilted and is not looking at us, and it becomes a very interesting composition. Very interesting pose. And now, sorry for the lighting, because I had to turn on my lamp. The natural light is not sufficient right now. I hope I can keep on showing these masterpieces. Let's see the next one. Oh yeah, this is another self-portrait from Vincent van Gogh. Is there anything else more to say about these pieces? I mean, they're fantastic. Lots of texture, beautiful color. Again, like the one I showed you before from Matisse, the self-portrait Matisse painted of himself painting another painting. This is the same situation here. Is looking a little bit over the canvas, so it might be looking at the model. I don't know. But again, the painting itself tells us the story of what's happening here. He's a painter and he's painting right now. Next, also from Van Gogh. Well, this guy is standing still, is sitting down, facing us, looking straight at us. His shoulders are straight. I mean, he's almost all the opposites of what I've told you that I liked in a portrait. And still, it makes such a huge impact on me. I don't know what it is. His eyes are penetrating, I'm guessing it's the strong brush strokes that are showing all over the place. I can barely look at anywhere else in the picture. I can only look at his eyes. I love this one. It's so powerful. I don't know exactly what it is in it, but I love it. Another self-portrait of Vincent van Gogh. Now he's tilted a little bit to this side and is not exactly looking at us. He seems to be a little bit lost, and all the texture around the painting is lovely. And he has this line art showing also. And here, this little one, another one of Vincent van Gogh's, not a self-portrait. This is Dr. Gachet. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. But again, what I like about this one, besides the textures and all that, strong colors, it's the pose. It's not a typical pose of someone who's being painted. He's just resting his head on his hand, and his eye seems to be wandering. He's not looking straight at us. It can also tell you a story. You can imagine what's going on in his mind or in front of him. I don't know. Very interesting. This one is from Toulouse-Lautrec. Again, a lot of textures. I love the colors. And this lady is looking down. She's very stiff looking, but she's not looking at us. She's looking down on the table. So she's leading her eyes to this cup here. And that's very interesting also. Again, from Toulouse-Lautrec, it's the clown lady. She's not even facing this way. It's a very unique pose. I mean, it's a very original pose. She's not looking at us. She's not facing us. She has her back turned on us. Well, halfway anyway. Her arm is in this strange position. Her head a little bit looking down. It's very original, very interesting. And this lady over here, again, with her back facing us, we don't even see her face. It's kind of mysterious, I like it. It's called Toilette. I'm guessing she's going to take a bath. It's also very interesting, this pose. Very unusual. Now I've selected this one, also from Toulouse-Lautrec. All the ladies are in different positions, and this one that is closer to us, it's in a strange position. She's holding her leg up, the other one is straight down. She's not facing us, she's on her side, and these two are the only ones that are facing us. That's very interesting in itself. It tells a story as well. This one I didn't select, but it's also a strange pose. And this one of the artist saluting the audience. It's all very fun poses. Now this one is from Gauguin. It's a self-portrait. And now we'll notice another thing in the portraits. The eyes, and Gauguin liked to do this a lot. The eyes are looking at us, but they're tilted to the side. His face is a little bit turned to the side, and that makes the eyes tilt to this side to look at us. You know, that's interesting. That's kind of odd and catches our attention. That's very interesting. I think I have more of that in here. Yes, this one again, the same thing. She's got her face turned to this side and she's looking at us. And there's something about that pose that catches our attention, makes us notice her. Again here, the same thing, the head tilted to the side and she's looking at us with the eyes. And this one is not looking at us. She's got the face towards us and the eyes are tilted to the side. Very interesting. Then this one, again, looking at the side. The face is facing us, but the eyes aren't, are tilted to the side. Then this one, it's a very known Gauguin painting. And again, this one is not even looking at us. It would make a nice portrait as well, like this. But she's with this other lady that is looking to the side. And then this painting, I think it's just a detail, it's not the old painting. As these two ladies, this one, she's very front facing us, but her eyes are a little bit lost and looking to the side. And there is this other lady that seems to be looking at the same thing this one is looking, but has her face tilted to the side. Lovely expressions on both of them, kind of mysterious. It's very interesting as well. And we can see that in here also. And this other piece, it's almost like they're twins. They are in the same position with their faces tilted to the side and looking at us with the eyes tilted. And I think that's it from this one. And this one, this book is also from Renoir. We've seen a lot of his pieces so far, but let's see if this one has anything that we haven't seen already and we can learn something from. Well, this one, I don't find this one so interesting. There's just a girl posing, trying to look good for the painting. That's not so interesting for me. This one is a painter doing his work. It's a little bit more interesting, but I'm not in love with it as well. This one is much more interesting to me because this lady is doing something, is not facing us. If this was a picture, she wouldn't be facing the camera, so I think that's interesting. This one we've seen already. Oh, these lovely girls. Look at them. This must be a detail of a bigger painting. I don't know, but this is a story in itself, isn't it? Very interesting, this one. And this is a lady reading, also interesting. Now these, the eyes are very, very captivating. That's what shouts out to me in this one. This one I don't like so much. It's a profile and it's kind of boring to me. I'm sorry if any of you fancy those. This one is also a profile and for me is much more interesting. It has the head and the way, you know, the painting is looking at the model from the upper side and she's not all the way on her profile. So it's much more interesting, this pose for me. We've seen a lot of these pieces already. This is lovely, the storytelling here. She's clearly posing for the picture, but it's also very interesting because she's not looking at us. So it's almost like she is naturally sitting like this. This one we've seen already. A lot of good ones of this couple dancing. She's looking at us. Her eyes catch our eyes. It's very dynamic and this one very interesting. She's not looking at us. Very natural looking, this one. And this one, it's all about the eyes, isn't it? It resembles a lot another one that we saw already where the figure was all in dark and the background and the face was white. This one has also this bow, but it's the same effect. And again, the impact is all in the eyes. Okay, that's it for that one. Okay, and I think that's about it. I could show you some more books, but it would probably be more of the same. We don't have to be so exhaustive in our search for learning these, let's call it, secrets of portraits from the masters. I learned a lot, and I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed it and this was useful for you. And now stay tuned for my next video, because I'm going to paint right now. And I hope I can apply some of these notions I learned on it. So the next video will be me and you going out and about to another very interesting place. And then I'll choose something from that experience to paint. Well, you got the tip already. It's a portrait. I hope you'll enjoy it too. And I'll go now. Like I told you, I gotta go paint and finish that portrait. So before you go, don't forget to leave a like on this video and send it to all your friends that wish to learn more about portraits. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And what am I missing here? Well, click the bell. Yeah, click the bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. So until the next week, bye bye and stay well.